By no means is ElevenLabs ever trying to say that these voices are the real person. Not trying to trick anyone by saying that that's Jerry Garcia or that's Judy Garland. That's not the idea here. It's to tell stories in a different way using synthetic voice, not pretend that it is that person.
Dustin, one of the coolest things that you guys are doing is working with the estates of dead artists, dead individuals, and figuring out new ways to monetize. I know you've built out Judy Garland, Jerry Garcia, Deepak Chopra, Sir Laurence Olivier, amongst others. You can maybe share some of the bigger names, but how are you guys monetizing? Let's start with the dead, the deceased people.
Yeah.
How are you monetizing their voices?
So those voices that you just mentioned are a part of our iconic voices collection. And the idea there is we have this great reading app, right? That's completely free to all users as of now. Um, and basically a user can come in and hear text to speech, whether it's books or notes from class, what have you, in the voices of their favorite 11 Labs audio
Very cool.
audio AI voices or in the voices of these iconic names that you just mentioned, and hopefully that you'll show some of them or to your audience. And so the idea there is that people want to hear stories in the voices of their choosing. People want to hear notes in the voices of their choosing. So we made partnerships with these estates who are very excited about getting their either family members or their loved ones back in front of the people who love them and exposing them to new audiences in the first place.
It's really fascinating. So you stand up new business verticals effectively with some of the most iconic voices, right? Like Sir Laurence Olivier, his family. I'm curious, like, how did they react when you first entered the conversation? Did they have to like, did they? There's no way they understood what you were talking about at the outset. So how do you like break it down to them? Like, how do they believe in it?
So, luckily all of these estates, have I would say great either managers or people who present them who have their best interests at heart, who can explain it to them. But one of the areas which, of course, most of these folks were concerned about would be will a iconic voice say something that would be extremely offensive to a larger population. And, we explained to them our moderation tools that we have in place to prevent something like that from happening. Another area that was of real concern was, okay, if they're reading, Pride and Prejudice or another public domain book, will that person then be able to download it and sell it somewhere else? And so, with our reading app, which these voices are on, they're only available to be listened to and streamed in real time, not creating new audiobooks with them and distributing it. That's a
That's
big
interesting.
difference between the iconic voices and all the other voices that we have available.
Yeah, it's interesting. Jerry Garcia has such a passionate fan base. The Deadheads are not just ubiquitous, but
Yes,
they are safeguarding
they are.
his legacy, man. It
And
is a big deal.
their family was they probably were Jerry's wife and daughter were probably the two people who were most excited about doing this compared to all of them. I mean, although Liza Minnelli gave a great quote for Judy Garland saying how excited she was to do this, which was pretty cool for me. But Jerry's family was very excited about this. They're open to experimentation because at the end of the day, they reminded me that Jerry was very tech forward during his lifetime, extremely
Oh, is that right?
yes. And so this is something they felt like he would be very interested in doing, experimenting with. And, we're allowing that voice, Jerry's voice, to help with some of their public exhibitions and different things of
Oh,
that
cool.
nature. So, and I think the deals that we struck with them were very fair. They're, short term deals. They're not in perpetuity. And so I think both sides were happy at the end of it.
So with a community like the Grateful Dead
Yeah.
fans, there must be some sensitivities, facing the community too, right? Like they all feel like the fan base needs to protect Jerry. So what do they get worked up about? What do they get upset
I
about?
think that's a very fair question. They do get worked up. Some do. Some are into it. They don't understand why the family would do that, right? They think it's a
Creepy?
more of like they think it's a greedy move, I would say.
Oh, wow.
But it's not if they think that, then they don't need to listen to it, right? They can vote with their headphones. They don't need to listen to it. And so
Honestly, Dustin, it's such a value add. Like if I was walking through a Jerry Garcia immersive installation, including his artwork, and I had him curating not just the artwork, but the voice, like having his voice tell me and teach me what it is that I'm looking at, what inspired him. I mean, that seems like such a richer experience than just having a third party telling Jerry's story.
100%. And I do think one thing I want to highlight, and it's kind of like a thread that's been through this entire conversation, is look, by no means is 11 Labs ever trying to say that these voices are the real person. Um, Not trying to trick anyone by saying that that's Jerry Garcia or that's Judy Garland. That's not the idea here. It's to tell stories in a different way using synthetic voice, not pretend that it is that person. And so I do hope that gets communicated with the iconic voices to some of the people, the Jerry fans who didn't like it at first, who were kind of worked up. Some people loved it, but not
I
everyone.
see it, Dustin. I'm one of those people who love it for sure. I think that's
Yeah,
super valuable. Tell me, Dustin, who like living people, living
yeah,
celebrities, high profile
yeah.
people from government and whatnot.
Sure.
Who's getting into the mix with 11 Labs? Is there anyone that you could disclose?
Yeah, Deepak Chopra, for those who aren't aware, spiritual guru, has written,
Huge.
not hundreds of books, almost 100 books. His teachings are worldwide. He is so into AI because he believes that it spreads its message, it's additive. It allows people to not only learn from him in new ways, but also allows them to interact and him to interact with them in new ways. He thinks it's an expansion of his consciousness. So he's very into it. Then on the other end of the spectrum, you have experts and thought leaders who are constantly using AI. They're not letting their voice be completely out there, but they're enhancing their content with AI. You've got people like Ariana Huffington, who created the Huffington Post, one of the leaders in new age journalists, journalistic community and media community. You've got countless others who I can't say, not yet anyway, who are leaning into all of this, because they realize that it's an additive experience for their users to get more content out there in more ways.
It's gonna fundamentally change areas that we're not covering too. Like, think about the gaming experience for people now. Like, it's imminent where you'll see you're going through Roblox or Minecraft or any, massive platform, and all of a sudden you're coming across these different personalities and they're speaking and they're engaging. It's gonna be pretty wild.
It will be wild. I think like the dream state is that the real dream state in one way is like I'm talking to you right now, Mark, but Mark, you only speak French, right? Um,
Right.
and so we're communicating, and I only speak English, but we're able to communicate back and forth in real time um, through AI technology. So I can hear you in your voice in English, and you can hear me in my voice in French.
How far off are we?
Probably sooner than you think. Like
Wow.
I would say a year, 2 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Really amazing.